Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's David Schlotthauer here in the home weather office. We're in the weather center, however you want to call it, with a very important Saturday night live special stream here on the channel. I'm doing these every Saturday at least, so at least we're keeping you all updated here, or I'm keeping you all updated here on the channel, and I'll continue doing these Saturday night lives for a while at least. So as we do take a look here at our current satellite imagery, which by the way, the weather pattern by the end of this coming work week is going to be straight up dangerous. We are talking about a very significant land bombing cyclone. You don't see these very often over the United States, or, well, not over the United States, but over land masses. Usually see them in the Northeast or right off the Pacific Northwest coast. But you don't see them happening in the Midwest or the high plains very often. So let's get started because there is a lot. There's a crap ton of stuff to go through today. And if there's time, like I do in these live or these Saturday night live sessions, be doing some, maybe a trivia, maybe something fun for you all. But we will have to get through this first because there is a lot to digest. All right, can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys could hear me. Once you guys could hear me, we will get started. That way, because there was some issues starting the stream before with the connection issues, so I'm hoping that is resolved by now. So let me know if you guys could hear me. Yes, we could hear you. Good. I'm glad you guys could hear me. Or at least one of you guys could hear me. That's coming from Katrina. So glad you can hear me, Katrina. All right. So we'll just get started, assuming that you all could actually hear me. Okay. So goes east, continental United States satellite imagery here does show that we have this system that's moving across northern Texas, bringing some thunderstorms, that sort of thing. Just a marginal risk of severe weather down here in the deep south. And I've been kind of predicting this for a while. At least haven't been making videos on this, but my friend Ethan was telling him about this, that, hey, we got to kind of watch this. There is an elevated risk for severe weather. More elevated stuff, maybe some surface-based convection. And if we do get anything, just some large hail and some gusty winds. Nothing in the way of big-time tornadoes. That might come by Friday, though, however. So that's that system. That's moving through. And then there is one more system that's going to sneak on by that's cutting off from the overall jet stream in California. That's also going to be moving into the high plains by Monday and Tuesday. These first two systems is not the big concern, okay? These are very weak systems, maybe some showers, some thunderstorms, that sort of thing. But the one on Friday is much more concerning than the two preceding systems that we're seeing, that we are going to be seeing now. So let's go into our model forecast here. Actually, let's go into this program. This is WSV3. And as we look at this carefully, so what we're looking at here is, of course, vorticity, so how much spin there is in the atmosphere, our height contours, which tell us if there's lower pressure or if there's higher pressure. And then, of course, the wind vectors here are showing us winds at 500 millibars. So as we go forward in time here, this is for this afternoon. As we go throughout the weekend into early next week, you can see, actually it's... Okay, hold on. Oh, so there's really only one system. I'm got myself confused. Oh, no, wait, no, sorry. So the preceding trough, this is 5 days out. Sorry, man, I'm confusing myself. So this is, this would be for Sunday. So this is Monday right in here. Nice, good little shortwave trough moving on through. This actually might do us something here. Might give us another severe weather event. I don't think it's going to be an outbreak by any means because this is not going to really have a lot of surface deformation with it. Not much in the way of a very deep surface flow out of this. This is one of those kind of quick movers, bowling balls, upper level disturbances. and this kind of gets cut off from the overall flow a little bit, so really not a whole lot of significant severe weather with that one. But yeah, it might turn the atmosphere up a little bit more. But it's this little guy out here in California, right in here. This is the one that comes in on Thursday and Friday, and I'll be showing you the surface analysis on that in just a second. So this moves into the desert southwest by Wednesday and Thursday, okay? Look at the winds on this. On the southern side of this, upper level ascent and upper level winds here on the order of about 70 to 90 knots, perhaps, and then increasing further, possibly over 115 knot winds at 500 millibars. That's 18,000 feet above the surface, ejecting into Oklahoma, into Texas here. The right front quadrant of this is where we are going to be seeing some explosive deepening with a surface low over parts of, say, southeastern Colorado, southern Colorado, as well as into northeastern New Mexico. Very classic Colorado rocky low setup here, where we get a lot of divergent flow on the left or on the left exit region of a jet stream here, negatively tilted trough here in place. So a very dynamic situation evolving here on the model as we go into Friday. And this really is a problem. This is going to be a very, very powerful system, something that I have not seen at least. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. I think it's been like 2 or 3 years since we have had something like this developing over the high plains of Colorado and, say, in Kansas. And then that kind of fills in a little bit, but then we have a second perturbation down here. I know it's really hard to see on this map, but there is a second perturbation of a upper level disturbance that focuses over northern Texas, and that could revigorate this front out ahead of it. So like in Arkansas, in Louisiana, we could have a pretty stout severe weather event on Saturday. Probably not so much on Friday, just because, for one thing, the initial low that's coming off of the Rockies is going to be very progressive. It's going to be moving off the Rockies pretty quickly. And the preceding trough, or basically the lead trough, out ahead of it, that one for Monday and Tuesday, might have some implications on how much air mass recovery actually takes place behind that. And so when our next system comes in on Friday, we may or may not have enough moisture advecting northward out ahead of the front or dry line for us to get a more persuasive severe weather outbreak potentially. If we did have enough moisture, we had really rich dew point values in the lowest 1 kilometer of the atmosphere, we would see certainly a moderate risk of severe weather. But because of the uncertainty, of the instability and shear that I'm about to show you here with my next presentation, this really yields very uncertainty as far as how significant this could actually become. But nonetheless, this is a amplifying trough here over the northern plains, or over the upper Midwest and the Ozarks here. So significant forcing here. Heavy rainfall, strong winds, damaging winds perhaps along that front as that moves through, and then that lifts all into the northeast. But you can see here the forcing does not really get into the northeast as much as it does into the Ozarks. And this would be Saturday into Sunday. All right, so that's what that is showing us. So now another one that I wanted to show you is how low will the pressure get with this system really on Friday? I mean, I'm really concerned about this. So let's fast forward this, which, by the way, northern Texas getting some snow this far south. Snow in the middle of March. Well, yeah, in early March, I should say. And let's move this forward. So you can see as we put this into motion, there's that system right here. Okay, so there will be some elevated severe weather risk through the next couple of days, especially as this moves through. And then a nice good ridge builds in behind it over the deep south. So yeah, a nice good Monday, I should say, before another surface low develops here by the time we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. It is Tuesday and Wednesday. I thought this was Monday with that trough ejection. So this is going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday, where we do have some of that heavier rainfall that develops over eastern Texas into Arkansas, as well as Louisiana, into eastern Oklahoma. And then, yeah, California gonna get another spanking with heavy rain and heavy Sierra snow for the higher elevations. Unlike many western systems, this one will make its way across the entire United States. So this is a coast-to-coast storm that develops. And so as we move forward here, this is for Thursday afternoon. We get that system moving into the desert Southwest, and this time of the year, higher sun angle, better thermodynamics. We usually get a thermal low that develops over the Intermountain West this time of the year. It usually begins to set up here, especially over Arizona and New Mexico. And this time of the year, once that develops with the upper level ascent that we're seeing, we get pretty good dynamics. So as we go forward here into Friday morning, there is going to be substantial deepening here because we get upper level ascent, we get divergent flow aloft that lowers the pressures below it, especially over Colorado, because you get lee cyclogenesis that shapes up here because the Rockies are like 10 to 12,000 feet. And so when you get these disturbances that are very energetic, that are very strong, you get upper level ascent, okay? You get air that voids in beneath it, and you lower the pressures here. So over Colorado, we're at 992 millibars here by Friday morning, and then look at how fast this deepens, okay? So 06Z Friday, it's 990, and then it drops by almost 10 millibars in about 3 to 6 hours. This is a definition of cyclogenesis. Okay, this is a rapid deepening cyclone. And so by by Friday morning, look at how deep this thing gets. Very, very deep. Okay, 968 millibars, very tight isobars here over northern Texas, over New Mexico, over Oklahoma, over Kansas. Okay, this is a signal that we are going to have serious winds to talk about and serious fire weather to talk about on Friday. And this continues to deepen, okay? 968, 967. It bottoms out at 969, 966 millibars in that rough range. Some of the members, by the way, from the GEFS Ensemble are taking this down to as low as 960 millibars. That is near historic for this geological area, okay? For Colorado standards, for western Kansas standards, this is very low. And your isobars here are very tight, which indicate we are going to have some serious wind problems out of this. And once this gets going too, there will be the threat for severe weather, and how that pans out is really uncertain for Friday afternoon, just depending on, again, how much air mass recovery happens out of the south, off the Gulf of America, surging that moisture northward into, say, the central portion of the Midwest here. Some of the model solutions here do indicate that there will be some sort of severe weather, but how severe to what magnitude remains uncertain and remains in question here. Okay, but we do have severe weather that does look to shape up for Friday afternoon over portions here of the Ozarks into the Midwest of Missouri, as well as into central Iowa, where we do have a nice good line here of some heavier rainfall and some thunderstorms that do develop as that surface low ejects northeastward. That is very tight, by the way. And then really good snowfall coming in on the backside of this. And now you're probably asking, will I get snowfall in Minnesota? There is a slight possibility, but not right away, because you have a lot of warm air advection moving in ahead of this. You can see that warm core system moving off of the Rockies. This is a more mid and low latitude cyclone that develops, so there's not going to be a whole lot of cold air being pulled southward out of the system. Instead, there's just going to be a lot of wind. Non-thunderstorm wind damage is very likely with this. Very heavy snowfall over the Dakotas into portions of Colorado as well as Nebraska. That low fills in. You can see how it kind of falls apart gradually at about 980 millibars. So, and that's the thing with these systems. They bomb out over the Rocky or off the Rockies, and then they de-amplify once they get into the northern plains. A very classic Colorado Rocky low that sets up here, okay? And then, of course, down here, there will be that second perturbation. You can even see it right over here. Take note of this little PVU streamer that sets up here over Texas into Oklahoma. That's going to help to revigorate all of this convection over to its east. So from Louisiana and Arkansas all the way into Tennessee, into, say, Missouri, well, eastern Missouri, into, say, Kentucky, into western Tennessee, as well as Indiana. Might need to watch for a pretty big severe weather event. Tight isobars here, nice good moisture advection at this point in time. A really unstable warm air mass that advects northward here. We are going to have to watch for severe weather. I think there's a better opportunity of that for Saturday, for the day 8 forecast running for Saturday morning through Sunday morning, because of what we have here. Better forcing along this frontal boundary as it moves eastward. So Friday, more uncertain with the severe weather aspect of things. More like Friday night is where we might see more of that activity develop. Most of Friday, it looks pretty good for the most part because of this rapidly deepening and the overwhelming of amount of drier air that is able to surge eastward, and this warm air mass here is not able to advect northward very well because of the lead trough that happens a couple of days before, okay? So that's kind of the players on the field. All we need to know right now is this is a dangerous situation. Regardless if there is or isn't severe weather here, we are going to have near hurricane force or hurricane force wind gusts, which, by the way, thank you, Scott Kelly, for the $10 donation. We are going to have a big, and I don't want to say this too many times, serious wind damage threat off of New Mexico, western Texas, Oklahoma, and the Kansas area. I'll show you the winds here in a little bit. That moves through, though, and then you can see the de-amplifying amount of forcing. Well, some forcing, but not really organized by any means. This high pressure right here to its southwest will what we call overbuilding this frontal system. So what ends up happening is the frontal system slowly de-amplifies with eastward extent into the northeast, and we end up not seeing a whole lot out of that later on in the period. Actually, you know what? Interesting. We do get a high, then we... Excuse me. I'm going to sneeze. Don't sneeze. Yeah, allergy season's back with us again in the center. We get this trough, actually. So I even really see that. So I saw the initial one, and then there's a third one that actually rotates behind it. So actually that might make things a little interesting for the Northeast. As far as a rain perspective, maybe some severe weather right out ahead of this, right on shore, depending on that warm sector where that advects. And then, yeah, then that's, as far as the weather pattern goes, that's really all we have there on the docket, especially for Friday. That's the big one that we are going to be watching. All right, let's take a look at our wind gusts now on this map, as these are really concerning by all means, okay? So, of course, wind gusts between 30 to 40 miles an hour, and this would be for, what day is this? This is Wednesday morning. All right, so that little system has some wind energy with it, so we have some winds between 30 to 40 miles an hour with those wind gusts at least. And then look what happens here. Look at this. Desert Southwest, 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, maybe even 65 over Mexico City, getting some big time wind gusts out of this one. And then look what happens by Friday. wind gusts between this. The GFS doesn't illustrate wind gusts very well just because it's not a really high resolution model. Once we get to our CAMS guidance, the HRRR, the NAM, once we get to that point, I'm sure the winds are going to be stronger than this because based on the isobars, the lines of equal pressure, they're very tight. I think we will have gusts well in excess of 80 miles an hour here over northern Texas. Primarily also off the New Mexico Plateau is where we see the strongest winds. But even here on the GFS, that's a 71 mile an hour wind gust in the forecast. And some of these higher elevations here, off of, say Roswell, near Colorado Springs, we could see wind gusts here exceeding 70 to 90 miles an hour. That is just ferocious by all means. And then, yeah, look at this right here. We got a 75 mile an hour wind gust here in northern Mexico. Part of this low that sets up, and there's the lowest pressure right in there where we have the lightest winds. And then backside of this low, we get gusts between 70 to 80 miles an hour. So even on the backside of this low, it really gets pretty destructive. Very strong wind gusts here out of the northwesterly direction. And even still over Texas here, we're still dealing with 40 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts. And then once this front somewhat amplifies, we have 60 mile an hour wind gusts, 50 to 60 that is, over much of the Ozarks into the upper Midwest of the Great Lakes. So this system is dangerous, very dangerous by all means, and there has been some decent, did I say decent? Oh my gosh, I said decent confidence. I meant to say decent confidence on this. And then that moves through. And then maybe another little system after that. So an active weather pattern is really setting up here. Okay, let's go to Weather Bell, and let's see the upper level dynamics. Actually, you know what? Can we pull that up? I think we can pull that up here. Yeah, we can. So severe weather. Oh, you know what I wanted to show you on my presentation is this, actually. So let's roll this through. Let's see. Slideshow. Can I present? Okay, start from beginning. This is what I want. Okay, that's, can you guys see this just fine? Let me know if you guys can see this, because this talks about my new confidence meter and what my confidence is with the system, and then we'll get to the upper level dynamics. Actually, this will show you those upper level dynamics quite well. Hey, Mindy. Hey, Christy. Hey, Justin. Justin G from SoCal. How are you doing? By the way, bet you're following this system quite closely. All right, so let's move forward. So, of course, self-explanatory, the numbering list here, 1 through 10. 1 being very low confidence, 10 being very high confidence. Your pointer is the little triangle. You'll see this in my videos more likely in the future. Indicator color, green means high confidence, that sort of thing. And all of this is based on my very own forecast. All the models blend together and that sort of thing. So, question really remains here is, what is the confidence on our shear magnitudes? This is basically our 500 millibar chart, but this gives us a rough idea on what our shear is going to look like at the surface, especially along that front, that dry line. So right now, shear intensity, very high confidence. There is no doubt in my mind about that. Pretty much the shear is not the inhibitor here of any severe weather that we see out of this. And so right now, I'm putting this up to an 8.2. So we have high confidence that there is going to be a lot of wind shear here on the order of 50 to 70 knots out ahead of this system and right along that left exit region. Now the lift, so that's our isobars, that's our lower pressure that sets up over the high plains here at 968 millibars. Now, because of model run consistency here on the GEF or the GFS, the deterministic forecast model runs, this is not the Ensemble, by the way. I'll show you that here in a little bit. I'm giving this a 6.4. So there is still some uncertainty here on the timing, both timing and magnitude of impacts. How deep will this get? How far east will it get? How far south will it get? There's a lot of room of error here. And so therefore, I am giving this a medium to high confidence, a 6.4 index here of this developing. Okay. Actually, I meant to put medium confidence. So there is a medium confidence here of that. Now, instability levels, I'm giving this a low to medium confidence just because, again, the how much warm air advection returns northward so that air mass recovery takes place, because we have that system on Tuesday and Wednesday, folks, that is going to kind of complicate things a little bit, all right? If we didn't have that lead trough for the middle of the week and we just had this big system developing, then we would have higher confidence for higher instability values. So the amount of instability here that we're looking at is a 3.8. So there is not a whole lot of very good confidence on this right now at the moment, this far out in time. And that's to be expected. But as we get closer, our confidence will get closer or will get better. Moisture levels, right now, we're looking at a medium confidence of this, with dew points especially being in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Confidence in that is lower than, say, dew points in the mid to upper 50s to lower 60s. Those numbers are higher confidence. So given the aspect and ratio of this, I'm giving this a 4.5. So right now there's a medium confidence on moisture retreating northward, but confidence right now is medium to high that dew points of at least 55 degrees will extend well northward into the upper Midwest, into parts of the northern plains. So what is the wind intensity looking like? What's the confidence in that? Right now, we just discussed about this on how strong these winds are going to be. Because of the magnitude of this, and sometimes models overdo things a little bit, especially on the GFS, this is a 7. This is a medium to high confidence. But in parts, say, of the higher elevations of the New Mexico Plateau, we have a fairly high confidence of winds exceeding at least 34 miles an hour, with a low to medium confidence with winds exceeding 50 to 60 miles an hour in those higher elevations, okay? And so this warrants a medium to high confidence that we will have a round of damaging non-thunderstorm force winds over western central Texas, into central western Oklahoma, into central and western Kansas, and including especially for eastern and northeastern portion there of New Mexico. And of course, here in the higher plains of Colorado, portions of Nebraska and South Dakota, those winds come up later out of the northwest as that surface low develops and moves and launches northeastward. So my overall confidence on this storm is pretty high. We have a high confidence that this system will exist here between, this would be between Friday morning, Thursday night, all the way through Saturday morning. Sometime in this time frame, we're looking at a very powerful system developing. So therefore, it's a 7.8 here on the confidence level, making this, which, by the way, I forgot to move this little dial up here. Can't even believe I forgot about that. This is a 7.8. So we are looking at high confidence. Not very high confidence right now until our ensembles get into better agreement here. And that will probably be assured by the time we go into Monday and Tuesday for the middle of the work week. All right, so that's a look at that. Now let's again take a look at our upper level pattern here. Like I said, look at these winds, 115 knots, ejecting into the high plains. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's really bad. And that is why I'm really concerned about extreme fire danger. Okay, there will be an extreme risk for fires over here in western Texas into eastern New Mexico. That is for certain at this point, given the amount of lift forcing and the amount of wind energy that this thing is going to pack. Which, by the way, I want to make it very clear in this video. This is a very deep trough, by the way. This bottoms out at, oh my gosh, what are those height contours? Those are really, really low height contours. 522, 519 decameters. Yeah, 519 decameters, people. That is very, very, very deep. Very deep and very strong, okay, for that latitude. In fact, if we look at our color chart here from Tropical Tidbits, yeah, look at that. Look how intense that thing is. Even on Tropical Tidbits, that is very, very deep. That is very, very deep. Okay, and that is why I'm really concerned we are going to have near, tropical storm force winds on this, for sure. But as far as severe weather goes, let's pull up some QT plots here. Bulk shear. So this is the... Okay, come on. We're loading slow here. You're loading slow. Let's refresh this. Give it some time. This is really, really slow. The new version, at least the beta version. Okay, here we go. So there is our wind shear here developing. So wind shear on Friday afternoon here in the free warm sector. Wind shear will be between 50 to 60 knots. So surprisingly not very strong as what people might think despite a system being this deep. But it's really once we get into, say, Saturday, wind shear picks up dramatically. We're looking at some effective bulk shear values here up to 80 knots, maybe getting close to 90 knots here in this portion. Okay, I'm circling this in black, right all in here, Dixie Alley, and up across Indiana as well as Tennessee. Really need to watch this, okay? Effective bulk shear magnitudes on Saturday are much higher than those will be on Friday, despite the strongest winds here occur on Friday over the high plains, okay? There's a lot more drier air that's going to be advecting off the plateau, and that's what will also kind of cap things a little bit. But it really is going to be Saturday is what I think is the day to really watch. Because this is Friday afternoon here. We do have an elevated risk for sure of supercells, but really it's once we get here to Saturday, especially for the deep south, and even Saturday morning here, we get some damaging winds. But down here in the deep south, we're all the way up to a 21 on our supercell composite index, which indicates there is going to be definitely some supercellular type storms, conditional, but if it develops, I hope you're ready. This could boom or bust. And this is showing us we do have PDS tornadoes here. Actually, instability here is pretty significant, but again, because of the uncertainty, we will see if this actually keeps trending on the GFS. Our critical angles, by the way, are about 80 degrees. So yeah, big time supercells here if this actually pans out here over Louisiana. That's going to be the area to really watch. Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and of course, not to even mention for the millionth time, up over here in Illinois, if we get enough moisture advection, we could see a severe weather event shaping up here. Some veering winds, but our LCLs are relatively high, so we could see elevated convection here. And this is capped somewhat, so I'm not really worried about this area yet early on in the period, just because, again, that EML influence will at least cap things temporarily. But once the better forcing moves in, then we could see definitely some severe weather for Saturday for Illinois into Indiana. Oh, yeah, Justin. Oh, yeah. Pressure on this thing is going to be insane. Is going to be insane. I mean, 967 millibars. 967 millibars. You don't see that very often. I mean, this is over land. This is not over some kind of oceanic area. If this was over the ocean, I wouldn't be really talking about this. But this is not over the ocean. This is over land, and this is really deep. This is a 967 right there, especially Friday afternoon, between about noon, actually. Yeah, between about, say, I would even say between 6 in the morning and 6 at night, there will be damaging winds over here. So that is going to be the thing. And even the European model is going aggressive. Now, before we do show you the European model, here's another visualization. Sustained winds on the GFS here, 48 to 50 miles an hour. Look how strong that is. Okay, and even pushing here close to 50 miles an hour over Amarillo, Texas. So if you're a truck driver, do not travel north and south because your truck will flip over. This is kind of the flip over truck scenario that will more than likely set up at this point. And even our clean surface winds, which is 300 feet above the surface, check this out. 60 mile an hour sustained clean surface wind near hurricane force off of New Mexico right here. Near Fort Summer, Santa Rosa, Las Vegas, Santa Fe. Holy cow. 72 mile an hour sustained winds right there, right above the surface. That is insane. And then, of course, behind this system, look at the surface winds here. 65 miles an hour. And that's what I'm concerned about for the fact that we are going to see a lot of wind damage. And then, of course, gusts over 70 miles an hour here out of the northwest, blizzard conditions, you name it. It'd be a thing. You're going to hear a lot about that. Which, not to mention here, gusts even 70. This is not showing it as high resolution just because, of course, this is from windy.com, and Windy doesn't like to upgrade their whole setup to where you can view this in high resolution. This is a 30-kilometer model, apparently, so this is not really high res at all versus what we just showed you on Weather Bell, but it gives us a good, accurate representation. Now, when it comes to the surface low development, this really develops quickly. Okay, this really gets going. 2954, and look at this. It drops super quick, the pressure. And you can see right there, as low as 28.59 inches. Yeah, 28.59 inches on the GFS model. Look at that. That is incredible. That is incredibly low. Someone was asking, hopefully this does not cause a dust bowl situation. Unfortunately, I would not be surprised if we see that briefly, especially if we get sustained winds over 60 miles an hour or 50, at least 50 to 55 over northern Texas. Okay. That is a possibility. In fact, especially when you get gusts over 80 to close to 90 miles an hour, perhaps, that is going to be the big concern. So, a dust bowl situation is a very slim possibility, but what's going to be a big concern is the fire danger. Look at these dew points on the back side of this low as it really develops. Look at this. Dew points in the single digits, temperatures in the mid to upper 50s to lower 60s. Your relative humidity will be down into the single digits. So that's going to be the thing here. Serious fire danger setting up with this one. So that's a look at that as far as that goes. Now, more concerning, there's a big signal, a remarkable signal on the GEFS ensemble. And you know, the ensembles, folks, forecasters will look up to looking at ensembles. And look at this thing. Look how deep this gets. Even on the ensemble forecast, really, really deep. Okay, the last run had it about as deep. This run has it about the same. I mean, that is remarkable. That is remarkable confidence from a ensemble perspective, showing us a 978 millibar system. Okay, so for sure, this is going to get below 980 millibars. That's a guarantee at this point. Just how lower below 980 millibars will we get? That is to be worked out with these models. One thing I can show you all is some of the minimum pressure forecasts bring this down to 965 millibars, perhaps. So that is very low. There are at least 4 or 5 models that bring this down below 970 millibars over western Kansas, over eastern New Mexico, or over eastern Colorado. Sorry, not, well, sort of eastern New Mexico, but northeastern New Mexico brings this down a whole lot, okay? And you can see some of the clusterness. So most of the members do show that a low is going to develop over here, over eastern Colorado. So that is, let's bring the map back up. So that would include areas like Lamar, Stratton, Cheyenne Wells. On Interstate 70, I'm going to get that low really developing quickly. So the cluster analysis here does show us that there is some decent confidence that a low forms somewhere in this area based on the ensemble from the GEFS. Okay, the Global Ensemble Forecasting, which are different members that run 30 different times to give us 30 different versions of a forecast. And so you're going to hear this from meteorologists that, oh, we are looking at the ensembles, and based on the ensembles, this is moderate to high confidence or medium to high confidence that we're going to get a big system that develops here. Now, the low confidence is getting this down to 960, 965 millibars. I don't think it's going to get that low, but either way, 965, 970 is a lot lower. Think about how strong the last system was, okay? Remember that system, folks. Remember that happened on... Gosh, what day is it? My days are all mixed up. On Tuesday. It was on Tuesday, right? Think about that system. How deep was that? That was only 984 millibars. This thing is going to be as low as 970 millibars, perhaps. 970, 975. So this is a lot deeper, a lot stronger than the last system. So that is why I'm really concerned about this. And if we look at some minimum model members here, I mean, come on, this is pretty ugly. This is 965 millibars. That is very, very low by all means. And again, does it get that low? It is a very slim possibility. There are quite a few members, at least 4 or 5 of them, that do bring it down below 970 millibars, which, by the way, if this did get down to 964 or 965, that's only 4 or 5 millibars shy of the all-time record low pressure over eastern Colorado. Okay? So, that, just to put that into perspective, we're quite close to the minimum, to a record here, Now, let's see what the European ensemble or deterministic forecast shows. Is that any stronger? Let's look at that model. Let's look at the 12Z, and then we'll look at the 18Z run. Let's run that through. Yeah, see, 977. So this is showing up amongst different models. The European has trended stronger over its model runs compared to yesterday, where this was only at only as low as 982. Now this is down to 977 millibars. So the fact a low forms right where the GFS, and by the way, let me highlight this area. So this is where the European model has this low. So let me circle this area in right here, doing my little analysis here. And let's look at the GFS. Let's see how remarkable this is. Yikes. Not far off. Not far off at all where that surface low develops. The GFS is only about 20 to 40 miles to the west and to the west-northwest of where the European, actually, no, it's more due west of where the Euro has it. Okay, let's look at the Canadian model. The Canadian model is a little bit further to the south here and also at about 977, 978 millibars. But it does bring it down to 976. So the GFS may be a little outlier here, but also a scenario that we will have to monitor. And then the Icon model develops this a little further north and a little weaker, and then it moves it into Kansas at 978 millibars. But it also wants us to get still down to 969, 968 millibars, but a lot later with its outcome. But still, look at what's in common here is damaging winds over western Texas and even for the high plains here of Colorado. Looking at the European model, very similar, but of course the European model is going to be conservative with everything here, but it still shows 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. The GFS is most aggressive here at showing 40 to 50 mile an hour winds over western Texas. Did I show you all the Canadian? Oh, I did. No, I didn't. I didn't show you all the Canadian. The Canadian and GFS and the Icon are very aggressive, both showing 40 plus mile an hour winds for northwestern Texas. So given the aspect of this and our national Blenda models, let's look at that. Yeah, look at even the national Blenda models are putting this over 40 miles an hour. For the higher elevations, 60 mile an hour sustained winds with gusts in excess of maybe even 80 miles an hour. So there is decent confidence that a big system evolves here by Friday and Saturday next week. I don't think this is going to get historically low. We're not going to go that extreme. I don't think it's going to get that low. For it to get historically low, by the way, folks, it needs to get, I think it's 961 or 959 something millibars. I can't even remember in my head, but I know it's in the very low 960s and the very high end 950s for pressure for that. Okay, but I mean, it really won't matter because it's all about the gradient and not about how low the pressure gets. Of course, if the pressure did get down to 961 here and you have a 1,014 millibar high pressure system over the Four Corners and Desert Southwest, forget about it. It's a Dust Bowl situation over northern Texas and the northeastern and eastern quadrants of New Mexico. All right. But this is deeper, for sure, a lot deeper than our Tuesday system. Okay, this is going to be more destructive, from a non-thunderstorm standpoint. But then, of course, the severe weather comes in by Friday late night, more like Saturday, so to speak. We'll see that severe weather really increase. So it's 961. So it was not in the sub 900s or 950s, I should say. So this is very close. I mean, you're about 6 millibars shy of that. 6 millibars. And it's even deeper, by the way, than the last model run. Okay. And then the 06Z run. Look at the trends on this. I just wanted to show you all this. The 06Z run 971, and this model had it down to 969 millibars. Now this run, a lot deeper and a lot further south, and that increases your gradient, which explains why we are seeing winds like this versus like this. They were a little weaker in Texas, about as strong in the high plains. Now we're talking about winds that are even stronger with this because the gradient is going to be tighter with this one. All right, any questions about this system at all? I'm going to get to questions. But all you need to know is this system is looking pretty significant, okay? Even so it's far out in time, confidence is remarkable on this. And actually, you know what? Yeah, look at even the European ensemble. Look at that, 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts, 50 to 70 over western Texas. That should be a wake-up call for a lot of you that are watching this. That is remarkable consistency. We will have to wait, though, on what the European ensemble does. Does it trend stronger in future model runs? That is going to be important because we know the GEFS is a lot more aggressive than its counterpart, the European ensemble. The Canadian is in the middle, with the GFS being strongest. What about tornadoes? We will have some kind of a tornado threat out ahead of this, especially Friday late afternoon. To what extent, we don't know yet. Okay, I know a lot of you are concerned about this, and I understand. Okay, we're dealing with a bombing cyclone here that has the DNA that we could get a substantial severe weather risk, but because of the arrival time of the recovery of moisture, it's all about that lead trough out ahead of it, okay? If we didn't have that son of a gun of a low pressure out ahead of, well, say on Wednesday or so, we would be dealing with a severe weather event, probably something in the 2011 historical records, something that would be substantial, because you would have a lot of moisture untapped advecting northward, okay? But because of that lead trough, that puts a ceiling on this, and that is why there's a lot of uncertainty, and that is why the Storm Prediction Center has yet to issue a slight risk on this, which I don't think they did yet. No, they didn't. They have not issued any. Nope. There is nothing out for that yet. See, there is nothing. And Leitman is an extremely good forecaster. I can put a lot of trust in Leitman's forecast, and the fact that she is not putting it out, which is understandable, because again, that confidence, the moisture recovery, okay, the advection northward with that moisture is very much uncertain. For a big tornado threat, you need dew points that are at least in the mid to upper 60s or greater, okay? We're talking dew points in the mid to upper 50s, which give us more elevated convection that is not notorious for tornadogenesis, okay? You want low LCLs, low LFCs for more big cones, more wedges out of this. It is almost certainly they will tonight, though. Yeah, I'm leaning. I don't know, Justin. I'm still kind of in the middle on that. I would probably wait. We'll see what the next couple of runs show, the 0Z and the 06Z. If those two runs are as aggressive, or if not more aggressive, then they will probably go for it. But just letting you all know, Friday is kind of a mixed bag. It could go crazy, it may not. But Saturday, I'm telling you, Saturday is going to be the day to really watch, especially the first half of Saturday. But that's what that looks. Now, fire weather risk. In Justin's bullpen here, yeah, Justin, we got a critical risk for fire on Friday, and actually now for Wednesday, never mind. So Wednesday could be another, doesn't look as, yeah, actually, wow, okay. Wednesday looks pretty spicy, actually. I didn't even realize that. Let me look at the models on that. Wednesday looks to be Looks to be interesting. Okay, yeah, it's more localized. Winds are not quite as strong as what they will be on Friday, but yeah, they're still up there. Gusts of at least 30 to 50 miles an hour. Not like the 70 to 80 that we'll see on Friday, though. Friday is definitely going to go extreme, though, I think. That's a guarantee. Oh, yeah, Justin. Oh, yeah. It's on the uptrend. Synoptically, it's comparable to some of the highest end outbreaks you can get. Yeah, Justin, it is. The kinematic profiles are very significant. But again, it's that moisture. It's actually, Justin, do you have time to talk on stream by any chance? I would like to hear your word for word opinion. Because honestly, I'm mediocre on Friday. There's that recovery that the air mass has to recover very sufficiently, and if it can get its act together, then yeah, a moderate risk of severe weather is certainly possible, very much at this point. All right, sweet, Justin. I would like to hear your expertise. All right, gonna give you a phone call here, or not phone call, well, Discord call. Man, where are you on here, man? Yeah, just give me a. I can't even find you on the list here, but yeah, we are gonna need to watch this very carefully. You're buried down in my DMs. Oh my gosh, Justin, you're buried way down there. So, yeah. There you go. Hey, Justin, how are you doing? Okay. So, boy, what are your thoughts about this for Friday at the end of this work week? Yep. Testing. What the heck? Okay, you're gonna need to repeat yourself. Hold on. I don't know. Okay, talk now.
Can you hear me?
Yep, it's going through. Okay.
Okay, yeah, people can hear me now.
Okay,
Has anyone
recovered.
heard
Yeah,
anything
sorry.
after this?
Yeah, no one has heard you. I thought desktop audio was unmuted, but I don't know why it wasn't going through. So I guess my settings got changed or something. So can you repeat yourself? It won't take long. It won't take much longer. If you could repeat.
Okay, yeah. I'm just going to assume you guys in chat have heard absolutely nothing I've said, so I'm going to restart. So we'll start with severe weather, what I think about that. Synoptically, the way the trough ejects, the type of low pressure system we're getting, the way there's just an incredible amount of divergence. I mean, you can look at the 300 millibar winds if you want. They're incredible.
500.
Synoptically, there's 300 will tell you a little bit more about that story. 500 will tell you a little bit more about the way the trough's ejecting. But the way that the trough is ejecting, the way this looks synoptically, is akin to some of the highest end outbreaks you're going to find. I mean, that's just the most simple way to put it. It's very similar to the March 31st, 2023 trough ejection. I actually found a picture of the way that one looked and the way this one looked, and they're almost identical. In fact, this one's actually more amplified and has a deeper low, so it's arguably even more impressive. So synoptics are not going to be a problem. The kinematics are not going to be a problem. The thing everybody's really talking about, which is the thing I'm uncertain about, is the moisture convection that you're going to get. The reason that moisture is so uncertain here is because there's another trough, which is a lead wave that's moving through the southern United States and into the Gulf on the 12th and the 13th, which is just 1 or 2 days earlier. In that trough, if it's strong enough, if it's amplified enough, it can actually sweep moisture southward back into the Gulf, which would really limit the amount of moisture that's able to be brought up by that approaching strong shortwave. And of course, if you don't have ample moisture, you can't get that big time severe weather threat. I think either way, there's going to be a pretty decent severe weather threat, whether we get a ton of moisture or whether we get limited moisture, just because of how incredibly potent this is synoptically. But the question about that big time tornado outbreak, which, just to put it bluntly, is possible if you get moisture, is really dependent on that lead wave. The way the lead wave has been trending is weaker, which is good for the 14th, which is good for the severe weather event. And you can see that just looking at the trends in guidance in the past 24 hours or so. If you look at the way the 12Z GFS looked yesterday and the way the 12Z GFS looks today, there's a lot more moisture. And that's because that lead wave is less amplified and is more southerly. And that's a big thing for severe weather. If there was no lead wave at all, we'd be talking about a pretty monstrous severe weather event, in all honesty. There is that lead wave, though, and that's going to hinder the ceiling that this event can have. I do want to make it perfectly clear, though, that the ceiling is still pretty dang high, and it's 6 to 7 days out. A lot is going to change between now and then, but the ceiling is there for a significant event, regardless of the lead wave. But how significant is going to be dependent on the timing and the strength of the lead wave, which right now is looking more and more favorable for organized severe weather. Now, on to the fire weather part of this discussion.
Oh, yeah.
So, of course, huge, big-time lee cyclogenesis over the Rockies. It's going to move north. With that is going to be a ton of wind. A 969 to 975 millibar low in the middle of the plains is incredible for any time of year, but I mean pretty much unprecedented for this time of year. It's pretty incredible, actually. So there's going to be a lot of wind, and with that, on the dry side of the storm, which is really like the southwestern side of it, there's also going to be really low relative humidity. Those two things combined, of course, make a pretty big fire weather threat, but then you have to look into fuel receptiveness. If you look at the energy release components in the southern plains, or even just like the fine fuels available for burning, they're pretty top tier as well. So the fire weather threat undoubtedly is going to be high end. Doesn't matter what the lead wave does, doesn't matter what the severe weather threat is. Like the fire weather threat in the southern plains, like the really, really, really towards like Del Rio, like really southern plains near the Mexican border, is going to be for sure high end. And SPC has issued a day 7 critical, pretty big one. They actually issued a very rare day 8 critical yesterday. So that risk is definitely not anything to undermine.
Yeah, oh, it's a big 70%. I don't think they could go higher than critical this far out, right? Or
The earliest they can upgrade to extreme, which I would for sure expect if trends continue, is day 2.
oh, so they don't do a day 3 extreme at all.
So it's going to remain 70%, which is a critical equivalent, all the way to day 2.
Okay.
And that doesn't matter how high end it is. That's just simply operational standards. Last year, not last year, in 2022, there was another planes fire weather risk that was exceptionally high end. And the SPC forecaster who actually issued the day 5 or 6 risk said that if he could have gone extreme at that time, he would have, but simply they can't.
Wow. Which I know you have to go here really soon, Justin, but take a look at these winds. Part of the fire weather risk here over northern New Mexico. 68 to 70 knots sustained over some of those higher elevations.
Yeah, the wind
Oh
risk,
my gosh.
this is a super multifaceted system. I'm sure there's a snow risk, though. I'm not a winter weather guy. I haven't looked into it. I don't really care for it. I'm sure that'll exist somewhere.
Oh yeah, there will be snow. Oh yeah.
Right. The winds are going to be a big story. The fire weather is going to be a big story. And if I were to trust how I've seen severe weather events evolve over time, I would think the severe weather is going to end up being a pretty big story as well, though that is for sure the most uncertain part of this system right now, and I want to make that perfectly clear. We're not looking at any, 2011 type outbreak. So if anybody's saying that on Twitter or somewhere
I
in your
spit
social
that
media
out.
feed, right. No, you didn't.
Okay.
You said that it isn't going to be a 2011 type risk.
Well, I said it could be close to the synoptic side of things.
Synoptically, it's high end. Yeah, it's as high end as it gets. It doesn't look like that event. They're totally different synoptically, but they're both in the upper echelon.
Yeah. Okay, so Jennifer Murphy, what does that mean? We're not. No one's gonna die. No. Justin, can you be more clear? Like, because someone said in the chat they think they're gonna die because of this bombing cyclone.
I don't think you're gonna die if you prepare. You should be fine. This isn't something that hasn't been seen before. This type of system has been seen before. It has happened before. It's rare. It's rare to get this type of low pressure system that's this incredibly deep, but it's happened before. Like, this isn't something that's completely unprecedented.
Yeah. Definitely if you are in Western Texas, though, if you can find a relative's house, maybe in Austin, spend a couple of nights there, not trying to freak you all out, because if there is a fire, and Justin, you could kind of hone in on this too. If we get a fire that starts upwind, like in New Mexico or Western Texas, like the border of New Mexico and Texas, these fires are going to spread very, very fast. Firestorms, if anything, is a possibility if a fire starts. So, and there's going to be blowing dust, okay? The air quality isn't going to be great with or without the smoke, because you're going to have blowing sand, you're going to have blowing dust out of the westerly direction. And so, yeah, if you can find a relative's house to stay at in Austin, Dallas, even if you're in Tyler, Texas, or even in Oklahoma, go into those, stay there, because the winds in Western Texas and New Mexico, especially eastern half of New Mexico, looks pretty dangerous. These are very dangerous winds that are to not be messed with. Blowing dust, sand, that sort of thing. And yes, semi-trucks will more than likely flip over, because when you're dealing with 50 to 60 or 40 to 50 mile an hour, well, 45 to 55 mile an hour winds, yeah, you could kind of bet on 18-wheelers that don't have a lot of product inside, they're going to flip over. So that's going to be the concern, especially north and south oriented freeways, highways, that sort of thing. All right. Brady 111 is asking, is this going to be like a Haboob setup? Justin, what are your thoughts? That's a good question, actually. And a Haboob.
I don't know if there's a way to actually predict that. I don't know. I would say dust storms in general are possible. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's definitionally one.
Yeah. But either way you put it, this is a dangerous system. Okay, fire weather perspective, severe weather perspective, and what everything Justin said, he agrees with me on. If we did not have that lead trough, this would be a whole different ball game on the severe weather side of things, at least. This would be a much bigger story with severe weather. So you all could actually say thank you to the trough, the lead trough that's going to be around that might tame lid things. Otherwise, it would be a really big an echelon of a higher parameter space. Also, one quick thing, Justin, before, because I don't want to keep you on too long, because I know as low as 520, 519 decameter, 500 millibar low over Kansas.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. I am going to head off one thing before I go. Even with the lead wave, David is right. Without this lead wave, the severe weather risk wouldn't be uncertain. We would pretty easily be looking at a high-end event. I still want to make it perfectly clear that even with more limited moisture, there's still potential for very significant severe weather with this. It's way too far out to tell any specifics at this time, but I mean, like, the risk is there regardless of the moisture. So just want to put that out there before I leave.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Head off now.
Yep. All right. So that was Justin, by the way. So yeah, he agrees with what I'm seeing as well, and that's important because everything that I've been saying this whole time has been actually true, unfortunately, because this is a big system. Which, by the way, this trough here over Kansas is in the 95th percentile for how deep things can get as far as the 500 millibar chart, which is a slice of the atmosphere at 18,000 feet, and how low the surface pressure gets, which, by the way, this is very low. This is about, this is like, the standard deviation here has this almost 6 millibars below average. 6 millibars of the standard deviation. So this is truly a rare setup. This is something that you don't always see a lot. Okay? It happens. It has happened many times in the past, but how often do you get a 970 millibar? Not much. You see 985, 990 millibars as they develop off the high plains. But a 968, 967 millibar system is rare in itself. So that is why... Oh, and Easy is here. What's up, Easy? How are you feeling, by the way? Are you feeling better? Which, by the way, I want you to join the stream for a little bit if you want. Easy. Our VIP guest. Easy peasy. Which, by the way, that low really deepens quickly. You could really see how it deepens fast. So, I'm concerned about this. I really am from a fire perspective. Higher confidence in a damaging non-thunderstorm wind event for much of the high plains for western Texas. A low to medium confidence for the severe weather aspect. What about Middle Tennessee? Middle Tennessee is going to get a lot of action. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially on Saturday is going to be the day to really watch for some severe weather and some flooding. There will be some flooding with this. With this first system, about 1 to 3 inches of rain is possible, with more additional rainfall after that. But, of course, I don't like hyping stuff up. I really don't. Not here to cause fear, to cause panic, but this is truly a big system. This is a really big system that we have not seen in a while. What's up, Diana? Are you here, Easy? Easy. You here, easy peasy? What's up, Easy Peasy? How are you doing?
What's up, guys?
By the way, this is Easy Peasy. Did you see the latest models on that High Plains low pressure system?
Seen a few things about it. It's hard to miss.
Yeah. This thing is going to be very, very strong. 967 millibars, and even Tennessee with that second perturbation of lower pressure coming off of New Mexico, more southern New Mexico. That can make things really interesting if that becomes negatively tilted and it becomes more of its little own thing. There could be a pretty elevated risk for severe weather for sure for the deep south and for the southeast.
Yeah, it looks like more western Tennessee will be on watch at least. Western to middle Tennessee, East Tennessee looks like it's gonna break up. For current models at least, it looks to be broken up by the time it gets to the Appalachian Mountains and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, easy. Winds of 45 to 55 miles an hour. Sustained surface winds in western and northwestern Texas. New Mexico, 50 to 60 mile an hour winds with gusts over 70 to 80 miles an hour are a possibility.
Yeah, that is some crazy snow. That's some crazy winds. And you might want to mention the snowfall on the backside for Nebraska and South Dakota,
Oh
even into
yeah.
North Dakota.
Oh yeah. About
Those backside winds, that's gonna be blizzard central through there.
Oh yeah. And based on the national blend of models, looking at about right now 2 to 5 inches of snow based on the national blend, which I actually starting to use that a little bit more because each individual model run at this point is going to just be psycho with how much snow actually falls. Like each run right now is just basically completely different from the last one. So there is not really a true honest forecast on how much snow you're going to get right now. Just prepare if you're in the high plains, the northern plains, especially from like Colorado northward, expect some snow at this point. Exact totals, we can't give you that quite yet because we are still far out from this event. But yes, the wind part, very high confidence at this moment. Very high confidence.
Again, with a blizzard, you're not really looking at the snowfall amounts.
Oh,
You're
of
more
course.
looking at how hard it comes down and how windy it is. So even if the viewers are looking and they're like, oh, only 3 inches of rain or 3 inches, 3 inches of snow, the rate that comes down, that's the biggest factor because if you're driving and you're driving through Nebraska per se, your truck driver, and you're driving and an hour goes by, that's big. That's big.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, 2 inches doesn't seem like a lot, but yeah, like he said, heavy snowfall rates at times combined with that wind, yeah, ground blizzard conditions, certainly a big possibility. So we will have to keep an eye on how much snowfall comes out of this on the northern side. If you are in Minnesota, don't worry about it. At this point, latest models, it's rain. It's literally raining even in southern Canada. So that goes to show you just how warm it's going to be in relative to average. I mean, temperatures up there in the low to mid 40s during the day. That is well above average for this time of the year. So yeah, No snow for Minnesota. Not going to happen until the backside rolls through, and then that's when you will get maybe a little bit of snowfall. So yeah, if you're wishing for snow, doesn't seem like it's going to happen until the backside. Yeah, Malik said this. Yeah, with sustained winds of 50 to 60, gusts up to 80, considerable damage to trees is expected. Damage to roofs, vehicles, mobile homes, and outbuildings is also likely with winds of this magnitude. Oh yeah. And also, very importantly, blowing dust. We are looking at some very unhealthy air quality. Let me see if I can bring that up here on the windy.com website. Dust mass. Let's see if this actually... Darn it. No, it doesn't give us dust mass forecast. Can't wait to see that, though. It's going to be interesting to see what it shows. But yeah, the wind forecast is going to be pretty substantial, though. Yeah, fire danger is looking extreme. Yeah, look at that. Extreme wherever you go. Extreme fire danger. So that is a guarantee. But in Tennessee, low fire danger. All thanks to the rainfall that you'll get.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we woke up to a, well, it would be really far out, but something, maybe the SBC looking a little bit more into this. Again, this isn't gonna be outbreak territory, I don't think. Just not enough stuff perfectly being put into place. But I wouldn't be surprised to see something developing from the SBC here soon.
Well, Justin G, that was on the call with me, he said that their SPC will probably put out a slight risk. That would be day 6, something like day 6, a slight risk. But again, there's a lot of uncertainty. Now, if that trough moves out of the way, or if it's weaker, as what Justin said, by the way, easy peasy, then we could have a much bigger severe weather risk. Very big, actually.
Yes, I agree.
So it's really about that trough, or that the lead trough. The one for the middle of the week. That's going to be the big one to really watch. Which, by the way, these are wind gusts on the... Oh my. These are wind gusts on the Icon model. 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts over western Texas. It's probably a little aggressive, but that is a possibility. Yeah, 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Non-thunderstorm wind damage. Winding or winding road. You're tired of the wind? Well, you're going to be more tired of it after this system comes through. That is for sure. It's going to be a big one. Big storm. This is going to be what we're really concerned about. See what the 2,000-foot level winds look like. Yeah, they're looking strong. See what the European model is showing, too. Yeah. Oh, yeah, some areas, 60 to 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Hey, it's even showing 70 to 80, almost. Can't wait for the cams to capture this, so that's going to be exciting. That's going to be the big excitement of all time, is when the cams take over and show this. Can you circle where the severe threat will be? Yeah, so the severe threat where I think it's going to be kind of in here is where I think it's going to develop. Okay. But with southward extent, I think primarily, actually, I think it's going to be further south too. So, like, right here is a better chance of seeing something more significant in Louisiana and eastern Texas because of this dry line as it sets up. This is what we're going to really need to watch.
So I'm looking, the SPC issued a, let's see, it's a day 7 and a day 5 fire weather outlook for western and central northern Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that or not.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I've been watching it. Yeah, there's a 90-plus knot mid-level jet streak will overspread the southern and central plains. In response, a surface cyclone will rapidly deepen over the central high plains. This will result in very strong, gusty west-south westerly surface winds and low relative humidity. And, of course, they don't put it here in their fire weather outlooks, but blowing dust as well. Very significant. I would probably bet on a dust storm for sure out of this one for western Texas. Well, yeah, that's on Friday. Middle Tennessee gets it on Saturday with the severe risk. And I think it's going to be in the same in latitudinally from right here all the way up to the north into central and southern half of Indiana and Illinois. Yeah, so enjoy the sunny, pleasant weather at least if you're in the high plains, because once this thing develops, it develops and it's not going to be pretty. Which, by the way, look.
Basically, the only reason why the Storm Prediction Center isn't releasing anything to do to severe weather for day 6, day 7, day 8. If you read, it says, given large model disparity in the placement and timing of key features, confidence predictability is too low to delineate severe probabilities at this time.
Yeah.
So they think it's going to happen. It's just they don't really know when or where.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying is there's an uncertainty on that moisture. It's that moisture. The storm is there. We know the storm is going to exist.
Right.
But it's about that moisture return and air mass recovery over the area. Like what you weren't here for it, easy peasy, but Justin did say if it weren't for that lead trough, this would have been a whole different ball game. This would have been...
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But it's that trough, saving grace trough, I should say, to keep things at least tamed. It's this little guy right here for Wednesday that's going to limit the magnitude of this, which I would be thankful about that, because if this wasn't here and we were looking at a moderate or high risk event in mid-March, you don't see that very often. It would be all I gotta say. Let's just put it this way, rain or shine, what floats your guys' hind. This is significant enough to where I'm not doing school. I'm streaming this, most likely, on Friday. And even on Saturday. I'm going to get my schoolwork done. At least I should be on Unit 2 or 3. At least so the middle of World History B. to where now I think I'm in the safe zone to where I could lay back a little bit. Because, yeah, I knocked out the whole unit, the last unit on World History A yesterday. That was exciting. That was a lot of fun. What's up, Brad? How are you doing? Hey, David, what areas are looking at tornado outbreaks possibly? Right now, mainly across the deep south, like say Louisiana, into Arkansas, Mississippi, eastern or western Tennessee. It's this area. If there is a regional outbreak of severe weather, it's going to be in this area primarily, is where I think it's going to be for Friday. For Friday. I want to emphasize that. For Friday. That's kind of where I think it's going to be at. But again, I cannot emphasize this a billion times. There's a lot of uncertainty in the severe weather department. A lot of high certainty on the damaging wind department and fire weather department over the high plains. In fact, this is a multifaceted system, but there's two different things: severe weather and fire weather. Fire weather, damaging winds, non-thunderstorm winds, very high confidence, as I mentioned. Severe weather, low to medium confidence. Brady 111. I'm going to go to school for meteorology in the fall. I do need summer break though. I need it. Oh man, doing this schoolwork has hurt my brain so much that, yeah, I'm going to take a break from school this summer for hurricane season, of course. So I'm all yours. Secondly, and then I'll go to college for meteorology in the fall, most likely. When in the fall, I don't know. But I don't want to really be on maybe I'll be on TV. Maybe I will, but I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, any questions, anybody, about this storm system? Any questions you might have for me and Easy? Me and Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy are here.
Someone's asking, how many hurricanes do you think you're gonna see this year?
So going on to that really quickly. So hurricane wise, the main development region actually slightly above normal, but nothing like it was last year. Oh gosh, compare that to last year. Look at where we were last year in March, in early March, and look where we're at this year. Way cooler than average, actually. So therefore, there's a bit of uncertainty, because if we do get an El Nino, at least it's trying to develop over here in the Eastern Pacific, which, by the way, I want to show you all that. Definitely warmer over here, and it's slightly cooler or cooler than average off of Africa with water temperatures. There remains a lot of uncertainty, but I'm putting this at a below average season. I'm predicting about 9 to 13 named storms is what I'm predicting this year. It's not official. I'm going to have to make once I'm done with the school stuff, I'm going to be releasing my first hurricane seasonal forecast like in early to mid-April. But I am predicting a slightly below average season this year. What happens after the storm? Like, what storm are you probably referring to in the high plains? Well, after that goes by, I don't think there's anything big. Oh, there's another big storm hitting California, it looks like. Couple of them, it looks like, showing up.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was about to say something. It looks like there's another trough rolling through your area after this.
Yeah, there's like two of them, like two big ones coming through. There is more active weather, but there's... Yeah, this is 10 days out. See what the European model is showing. There is some agreement that another big system could exist here in the high plains. But there is Canadian is not showing it though. So only the GFS and Euro are showing something around this time. But there is a little bit of a lot of uncertainty. Only one storm at a time. Let's focus on Friday, and we'll focus on the rest after. Yeah, there's another big trough coming into my area. That'll bring down temperatures. Yeah, very active pattern actually over much of the West. Yeah, seriously active weather pattern. Oh yeah. Definitely an active pattern setting up. Hey, we're going to steal your warm temperatures, people. California is going to be enjoying some nice cooler than normal temperatures, actually, which is nice. Which is going to be nice to see. No warm weather in the foreseeable future except for what's coming up in early March. Or right now in the next couple of days, it's going to be near to below average. And then we really drop those temperatures by next week. While all of you get to deal with warmer than normal temperatures. Lee, there is a potential for another storm, yes. After that, by the following week. But one system at a time. That's 11, 12 days out, so it's pretty far. Now it's raining in Oklahoma City. I like your name, by the way. Christian. So, yeah, it is raining in your area. But won't last too long. And then it should be... Weather should be a lot nicer tomorrow. And then good weather conditions coming up. Pretty much... Nothing big for Oklahoma, actually, after that system. Only some strong winds for Friday, though, is all you're going to see.
Another really bad thing to look at here with the upcoming fire weather. I don't know if you covered this before I got here or not, but right where they're predicting there to be potential for fire, there's not going to be any rain down there for as long as the GFS goes out. There's not going to be anything down there to help relieve anything.
Oh, gosh. I didn't even realize that. That's bad. That is not good. Yeah, that whole area of Texas is going to have below average or no rainfall virtually for the next 16 days. No rainfall for the next 16 days. And it's been like that on many model runs. So that is bad news. That is not good at all. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this little guy not that one. This one right here. Actually, if that does develop as what the model shows, that could be a big deal right there, actually. A lot of moisture. Let me actually look at that for Monday really quickly. I just want to overview this. I don't think it's going to be anything, though. It's too far out. A lot of uncertainty. Yeah, right here. Actually, Friday looks pretty concerning over Arkansas and Louisiana. Yep. So, right in here. We'll have to keep an eye. Too far out, though. Keith! What's up, Keith Evans? How are you doing? How are you doing, Keith? I want to say thank you for bringing us colder temperatures. We're enjoying it. It's not so bad. Nice good ridge over your area. Actually, not much in the way of a trough. Actually, you're going to get more snow. And then comes the bigger storm. Well, not really that big, actually. As far as a pressure standpoint, only 989 millibar system off of Washington. But definitely some lower heights over there, though. Really low heights. So it's going to be colder than normal for sure. What's up, Tony? How are you doing? How are you guys? Lee, instability right around, well, if you base it off the GFS model, up to 2,500 joules per kilogram of instability. So a moderate to strong instability for Saturday over the deep south, including for Western Tennessee. I'm doing great,
David,
Tony.
have you seen the fires in Long Island?
No, I will look at that in just a second.
Do you want me to send you a video?
Sure. Which, by the way, did they extinguish the fire in your area?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, good. Keith, I wanted to show you something. Are you ready for this, Keith? Look at how fast this thing bombs out in the high plains. Goes from about 990-ish millibars. Actually about, literally goes from about 998 millibars down to 967 millibars. By the way, hit the like button if you guys are enjoying the live stream.
I sent you a link, by the way, David.
Sweet. Oh, shoot. Wildfires on Long Island. Wow. Jeez, that's bad. On the small island, too. Keith, you know how strong the winds are going to be in Texas on Friday? You want to know how strong those winds are going to be in Texas on Friday? You don't even want to know how strong they're going to be. $45 to 55 mile an hour sustained winds. Okay? 45 to 55 mile an hour sustained winds with wind gusts up to 80 to 90 miles an hour. On a scale of 1 to 10 for Tennessee, how concerned am I? I would say about a 6 right now. For Ohio, yeah, you're looking at sustained surface winds of 25 to 40 in Ohio. How big of a risk will Clarksville, Tennessee be on Saturday? So right now for Clarksville, Tennessee, I would say better for severe weather on Saturday for that area. So at this given time, I would honestly say I'm a bit concerned for Clarksville, Tennessee on Saturday for at least a slight, if not enhanced risk for severe weather. Do you think the sustained wind or gusts could go higher than that? It depends on how our high resolution models handle it. But the GFS being quite aggressive with the 40 to 55 mile an hour winds. I don't know if you're still here, Keith, but I just want to tell you that, yeah, look at how strong. Actually, I wanted to see that fire on satellite to see if it's even there. Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. There's the little smoke plume. That's crazy. Little fire there. Did they get that fire out or contained at all? Do you know? Easy peasy.
That was a few hours ago, so I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything.
Oh, okay.
I can try to figure out.
But yeah, there is a little bit of smoke trail. Oh, yeah, Keith. Oh, yeah. There's going to be a mighty dust storm. Also, Keith, look how dynamic the jet stream is. Look at that thing. Look at how dynamic this is, even in California, and then moving into the high plains. Look at that. What's up, Psalm 91? How are you doing? I also love your name, Psalm.
I just figured out again. Apparently someone said that there's over 15 little fires over a span of a couple miles going north to south. Basically all over Long Island. Not in the
Dang.
city area, more in the eastern part of Long Island towards the water. But still, there's fires everywhere out there.
Golly word. I don't know who's starting those fires or what's causing those. But whoever's starting those fires, I hope you get arrested. But this is looking pretty significant, this wind event. Man, I wish I was able to get to Texas, station myself in western Texas, and capture this. Capture the blowing dust and that sort of thing. Okay, for the last 15 minutes, I think. I don't think there's not much else to talk about since we talked about what we needed to talk about. Oh, I'm glad you like the lights. You know what's cool about these lights? They are really good lights. And they're magnetic, so I can stick these to the wall. Mini Earths. Oh my gosh, you're funny. I could do different things with them actually. Let me see if I could get in there. Oh yeah, so I could literally make them flash. I can do all kinds of things with them. I could do that. Let's see what else I can do. I can do. Can literally do that. I think tonight they'll put out a 15% at least. Anything look
As of an hour ago, the fires are still burning. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh wow, so they are okay. So anything coming for Cleveland, Ohio? Yeah, I would say so. For sure. Saturday night, it looks like. Saturday night, you'll get another big, more heavy rainfall and some severe weather, for sure. But yeah, high winds for sure ahead of that front. There will be some damaging winds out ahead of this front, especially over the pretty much east of the Rockies. You'll have some high winds. But western Texas and the high plains will see the damaging winds and even some damaging winds. By the way, for your area, easy peasy, you could have wind gusts over 60 miles an hour from the south.
That's not good.
Nope. You seem to be prone to those strong. Well, you're in a valley. Do you get how strong do the gusts get in your area typically with big storms like this? Easy. Are you sheltered enough to where the winds cannot mix down to the surface very much, or are you prone to getting gusts over 60 or 70?
No, every storm system that comes by, it's usually either at 60 or above.
So you must be in a wind-prone area then, that funneling effect.
Yeah, I live between two valleys, or not between two valleys, but the mountains. They just like amplify all the winds. I live in a valley, so you know.
Yeah.
All the winds that get down that deep, it's like a I don't even know what it is. It's crazy.
I wish I could live in Tennessee or somewhere because that's where those strongest winds always end up being. Because I want to get some big time wind. So, yeah. What's up, Dawson? Martin, how are you doing? I'm going to miss the cold and snow. I know summer's coming in. I don't like summer either, but we have to go through summer so we can go through winter again. All right, tonight I thought I could do more showing off with my weather simulator. And this time, I actually made a scenario. I don't think there's not much to talk about as far as it goes. So, I created a high plains severe weather, and I figured out how to do it. So, it should work perfectly good. So, basically, let's go to... Oops.
David, I'm gonna go ahead and head out for the night.
You're gonna
Need
head
me?
out?
Yeah, I gotta go cook something. I'm hungry.
Okay, enjoy your food, buddy.
All right, bye bye, bye guys. Join the Discord. That's my job. All right, bye bye.
Okay, so since there's not much going on, we'll end it here for the next 5 or 10 minutes because I will need to head off myself because I need to eat something, take a shower, and yep, you know what that means. It's time to get up early for church. But yeah, this is a severe weather scenario where we're going to get some big time winds going. The air gets very dry. Talk about Tennessee more. I can talk about it here. How does that sound? So for Tennessee, Saturday into Sunday, mainly Saturday. If you're in Western Tennessee, Saturday morning to Saturday mid-afternoon is what you're going to get as far as the severe weather goes. So you're going to get a lot of that. There's a chance that it could be a higher threat. And then on Sunday, it moves more into the mid-Atlantic. But yeah, I'll just show it here on the map so that way I'm not ignoring your area. So Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon Central, and then Saturday night, it's Eastern Tennessee into the mid-Atlantic. Right here is what we're looking at. So right there. Let's try to create a cold front, and let's try to initialize this. Yeah, look at it. Look at that. Shelf cloud. Look at that. Shelf cloud. Yeah, but this is a high plains severe weather setup. So basically, this is your dry line. Look how dry the air is, by the way. 12% humidity. This is like Texas-ish here. Well, pretty much like Austin, Amarillo, Texas. Very dry air. And then here is the Gulf Coast. Look at those dew points. Look how high those dew points are. Really, really high. I'm glad you like this. It's free too. You can download it. Well, not download it. It's off the internet. You just type in 2D weather simulator and it should pop up. Then you can look at temperatures. So what are your temperatures doing? And you can see it on the soundings. The air is really dry. It's really, really dry. So you can see how dry the air is. And once surface heating gets going, we will... Oh yeah, there's some thunderstorms right here. Boom. I know it's dark, so it's hard to see this. But once it gets to daytime, let's make it daytime already for the sake of this live stream. Come on, is it going to get daytime? There we go. We got some clouds. Well, we're waiting for the conditions to come right for severe weather. Wow. Look how dry the air is. Oh my goodness. Air is so dry. Winds here are at 80 miles an hour. 80-mile-an-hour winds. Trying to wait for... Why are we not getting any thunderstorms? Crazy. Supposed to work. I think my air is too dry. I'm trying to get a dry line set up, is what I'm trying to do. Oh, we got some blowing dust. Oh, we got some blowing dust. Yikes, look at the wind. Man, it got hot. Look how hot it is. Humidity is so low, though. 4% humidity. So what I'm going to have to do is lower the wind. I think the wind is just too strong. So I'm going to lower that a little bit, and then we are going to get some... Oh, yeah, we're getting some convection. Look at that. Got some convection. Just not really good convection, but we're getting some convection. Boom. Are we dropping temperatures down? Man, even my cold front is not very efficient. Yikes. Look at the drier air moving over the ocean. That is crazy. That is so crazy. Wow. Yeah, look at some of the blowing dust. Got so dusty. Geez, this is not a scenario that I wanted. Not a scenario that I really wanted to see. Okay, I'm going to have to increase the drag a little bit to knock these winds down. And get the wind to pick up a little bit more. And it should work. I think it's going to work. So let's increase the surface heating now. Oh yeah, there's some dust. Look at the dust. All that dust. Speaking of air quality, how bad is it? Oh my, it's not very good. It's not very good, actually. We do need to get the instability to increase, so which I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to get this to work. Let's decrease the drying of the air so the air is not drying out all of a sudden. I think this is going to work. Yep, there's your thermal. There's your thermal, your meeting point. There is a dry line, though. Dry line is over here. We do got some drier air. Really dry air, actually. How do you guys like this? And then I think I'll end this at 7 o'clock. If you guys want to check this out, you guys can. It's right, it's the link. Oops, no, I don't need that. There we go. Wow, it's warm. It is really warm and muggy. Also, I did forget to tell you all, don't forget to spring forward. Oh, can't even believe someone would forget about that, right? Do not forget to spring forward an hour. That means one less hour of sleep you get tonight. Okay? Don't forget to spring back or spring forward an hour. If you forget, you will be punished. No, I'm just kidding. You will be punished. Did you forget? No, you didn't. Up, got some thunderstorms. Well, you got some thunderstorms. Look at this. Shelf cloud. Shelf cloud, little shelf. It's like our wind is not picking up yet. No, drag is not on. All right. Well, anyways, do you guys have anything you guys want to ask me? Then I'm going to head off, I think, because I need to eat. I love the longer evenings before sunset. I like anything. If it's dark early, it's dark early. I don't have any preference over that. Because our bodies are built, you know. When it's time for this, it's time for that. South Dakota certainly going to get some blizzard conditions with this storm, like Arbiting. That's a very likelihood at this point. Yeah, you'll get some. The 8 a.m. sunrise is questionable, though. Yeah, that's pretty late for your area to have a sunrise that late. Compared it to being really early, I'm guessing. You must live in a really northerly high latitude. Snow amounts, I'm guessing for the northern plains about 2 to 5 inches at the moment for snowfall amounts. That's just because there's a lot of uncertainty on the exactly, as I mentioned earlier. Snowfall amounts look pretty uncertain. But there will be some snow for sure out of this on the northern side. It's just how much snowfall there will be. That's going to be the only uncertainty. So, all right, you guys, I think I'm going to head off for the night. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's Saturday Night Live edition on that storm for next Friday. I'll see you guys back here on Wednesday or Thursday. All right, see you guys back here then for more weather content.